goes at night. Content's king, but timing's tight.
Good morning, good morning.
Mo's got charm. Together they'll keep you from harm. Ooh, it's the surge. Yeah, the social surge.
Good morning, everybody. It is Social Surge with Fly and Mo. Good morning, Regulata Real Estate. Joining us over on the gram. Happy Tuesday. I'm Mo Regalato, and over there is Miss Fly Jamerson. Tuesday. There you are.
There we are. When I turn a little blur on, I'm just like not happy. Especially now it's so dark in the, well, I mean, we just had daylight savings times, but it's still so dark. It's dark in here.
Yeah, I'm not loving the fact that it is like pitch black at like 4 o'clock. So I know I'm exaggerating quite a bit about that whole thing, but I am not happy about the fact that it is so
dark.
Yeah, I'm just like, especially up here, like it just, I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing. Welcome to Social Surge. I'm Mo Regalato, like I said, and I'm joined by my beautiful co-host, Miss Fly Jamerson. And today we're actually talking about if you confuse them, you lose them. And this is actually something that we see quite a bit in commercial real estate. Now, Fly, I know you've had this issue when you ask somebody, someone, what do you do? Good morning, Marcy Moneypenny from Denver. And we got DB joining us over on the gram. DB, what's up? You're supposed to be over on LinkedIn joining us from there. You ask somebody what they do, and they end up spitting out like 5 minutes of stuff that, well, if you're like me and have ADHD, you lost me after about 3 seconds. What do you mean we're not on LinkedIn?
What? We are. We
are on Fly's channel.
Oh yeah, it's bandy back and forth. Yeah, it's not just yes, the attention is the real thing, but I have to say, like, the other thing is speed. Like, I've been talking to some people who, think about when you go to ICSC, like sometimes the touch that you have with someone is like 2 minutes passing in the hallway, right? Like that's it. You either, that is your brief moment that you have of connection, or like that's a spontaneous, like meet cute that is, occurring in that moment. And you don't have a lot of time, whether it's attention in the feed or you're standing there at a party or like you're in the gauntlet. You got to go fast. You got to be clear and you got to be fast. And I'm preaching that, and also saying like, man, did I not do like 15 takes of me trying to do your value prop?
Right. But that's the thing. Like, so when this isn't anything new. You guys know this, but if I go into, I actually tweeted about this, by the way, I have this whole thing about X and like what the X sound is in Spanish. So is it sheeted now? Like, that's the whole thing. But anyway.
Please tweet that later. Can you tweet that later? That's a good one.
George, I'm not going to get your last name right. I'm going to say it bad.
Boveland?
Thank you.
Mr. Boveland's in the house. What up from ATL?
On the gram. But I actually, if I go to your LinkedIn profile and it says something inane like change maker, what the hell does that even mean? Change maker, rainmaker, like kingmaker. Like if you put kingmaker in there, I mean, like really?
Yeah, like, I should have put that in we didn't do it, but I should have put that in my headline for my like LinkedIn Halloween costume headlines. Yeah. No, in your tweet, when you were specifically referencing this and, talking about change maker or like synergy, like all this stuff, right?
Synergistically.
Synergistic. That's a good, like 80s sweatband, like synergistic. Like, what's the guy who does the aerobic videos? That guy. Synergistic.
George is trying to show me how to pronounce his last name. I'm not going to remember it. I'm just not going to remember it.
It's okay. I got
Boveland. And Taylor Turner, IV Wealth. I think I'm saying that right. Taylor Turner, maybe. Thanks for joining us on the gram.
But what you what you pointed out about like again, change maker, what does that, like, those are words that have meaning, but what the heck does that mean? And so I can't remember who said it. It may have been you, may have been somebody else, who's like, change maker. Yeah, like they're making you change.
They're making change at the gas station. Yes.
Same with rainmaker. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna like boop in the cloud. Right? What? Rainmaker is a little, I feel like rainmaker is a little different, but anyway, go on.
It basically, if you're making people question what it is that you do, you've lost them, right? So we talk about this. We talk about this on LinkedIn headlines. Whatever, really, it's all part of your messaging, and it goes across the entire marketing ecosystem, from your website to what you put at the bottom of your emails, right? Like your little saying that you put on your name thingy, whatever. What the hell is it called? The name?
Your signature.
Thank you. Woo! So what do you? I know. Aaron, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, Aaron. And then we got Changemaker. Give me 2 5s for 10. That's right. So it follows you across it, and it should be following you across all the different channels that people can have a touch with you: email, website, social, everywhere. Right? Again, we talk about this. Go to the website. We do social media for busy commercial real estate professionals. There's actually a whole system and framework that was used to create that value proposition. Who am I addressing, first of all? I'm not talking about myself, really. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about busy commercial real estate professionals. What's their issue? They're busy. What can they do? Social media. They don't have time for it, right? We address everything within that little value prop. It is so important for people to understand what you do quickly, or you're going to lose them. So that's really what we're talking about today, is how to break that all down and how to create your messaging so that people understand you just right out the gate, right? So think about it. And we've actually, a couple years ago at CREI Summit, we had Dr. JJ Peterson from StoryBrand. Dr. JJ, fabulous person, works with StoryBrand, actually wrote the book Marketing Made Simple along with, why am I going to forget his name from StoryBrand?
Oh, the guy. Oh, his name.
Yeah. Anyway, you can look him up. I'm forgetting his name. I'm totally just bawling out on his name right now, but it's been a morning. So
Donald Miller.
Don Miller. Thank you.
I was thinking a different name, but it's Donald Miller.
Donald Miller. So Marketing Made Simple is the second book after Building Your Story Brand, right? And go through Marketing Made Simple and actually apply all of the lessons in it. Very, very good. But what Dr. JJ was talking about, he said, and it stuck with me, when we're talking about our business and what it is that we do, right? Thank you, Miss Allison. Oh, I love Allison. Oh, speaking of, Allie Chan is going to be on Social Surge with me on Thursday. She's going to be live from Chicago because Miss Fly Jamerson is abandoning me. She's going and deciding that she needs to be somewhere else. Whatever. No, you have a wedding to go to, right?
I'm attending a wedding in Connecticut.
Wedding in Connecticut. Have you ever been to Connecticut?
A wedding in Connecticut. No, it's going to be a regular old adventure. So,
ooh, I want to see everything because I've never been to Connecticut before. Greg Alauda Real Estate was like, you were on his podcast. Yes, you are correct. What the heck? I was on JJ's podcast for Building Your Story Brand. So that actually, I'll probably, that was 2 years ago.
That predates my existence in the internet in this industry. So.
It was a while ago. So Allison will be on the show on Thursday with me, live from Chicago. I won't be from Chicago. Allison will be from Chicago, and we are.
I may actually watch it. No, I'm going to be on a plane. Wait, I can watch it if I'm on a plane, right?
If you have access Wi-Fi, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the reason I can't, is because I can't personally broadcast from the plane, but I can totally watch. I'm gonna watch. Okay.
Okay. Right. So we will be talking about touch points. So this is actually a perfect segue. The famous Fly Jameson. Love it. Okay. So back to what I was talking about. So Dr. JJ Peterson talks about the fact that when you're speaking to your clients and prospects, or just Joe Blow on the street, right? You have so much information that you're speaking at a level 10. and you are aware enough that you need to dial it down to a level 5, right? However, your people are still at a level 3. So, oh, yay, Corey Zelnick's in
First
the
ever
house.
guest. Super excited.
And then we got Molzer Development has joined us over on the gram, and we were talking about clarifying your message and making it super simple for everybody to understand what it is that you do. So back to what Dr. JJ was talking about. Your person is actually at a level 3. So even though you've dumbed down what you're talking about, you still need to dumb it down even more. And it's not really dumbing it down. It's just making it easy for everybody to digest. And the other thing that he talks about too is the fact that, and actually Donald Miller talks about this as well, is that our brains are amazing things, right? They're keeping this sack of bones and meat alive, right? Like there's all this stuff happening. You're making millions of, not millions, whatever, thousands of decisions all the time. So when somebody presents you with information that you actually have to be like, huh? Guess what? Your brain's like, this is too much. I'm on overload already. Boom, done. I'm done with it. It's gone, right? So if you can simplify your messaging so much so that it sticks in someone's brain, you have won the game. The game's over. It's done. You're done. Yeah, everything's good, right? But that's what we're trying to tell you today, is that most businesses, they talk about themselves too much. Customers don't care about the story. They want their story. And I've said this before. One of the very first things that it's actually stuck with me from sales is when I was doing I used to sell insurance, right? Oh, girl, I have done sales for so long. I sold vacuum cleaners door to door. Like I've done sales. So I was selling insurance, and I was getting upset because these people that I was cold calling and prospecting weren't calling me back. And he said something super, super profound to me. And he said, people aren't thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. Oh, okay. So like, not only can I take the rejection away from that because they're not thinking about me, they're thinking about themselves, but it's also the fact that I'm not providing enough value for them to think about me. Correct? So, when we talk about clarity, it's, and this is cute does not convert. Lots of people try to be clever and lots of people try to be cute. Ask anybody who's doing a startup. Ask anybody who is trying to get a product up off the ground. Oh, this is so cute. It's so clever. Does it make sense? Is it simple? If I have to waste the little gray cells to figure out what it is you're trying to sell me, you have lost me. Clarity wins, confusion kills.
It's just like something that I see a lot with messaging, marketing, your own personal branding, all kinds of stuff, is that like the process of making it, especially if it's like, oh, this is like kind of funny and cute and clever, right? Like that is hitting you making it in a different way. Like just because you can make up, just because you can use AI to generate, 20 puns related to being a tenant rep, like doesn't mean
that's actually a great idea.
Well, I mean, but like, yeah, but like one of those is going to be great. One or two of those is going to be great. And also like, you have to think about like, I am now just having this idea that I should be using. I don't have to use it next year, but I can use it for Valentine's Day, in which I want to make little teeny like Valentine's cards with a candy and put, like broker sayings and faces on them and like make a whole like little social media like thing. Right. But like the cuteness and the cleverness of that is, like for a very particular specific thing that is trying to accomplish something that has nothing to do with the overall presentation of who I am, what I do, etc. It's just a pretty good indicator of that. But it's just like, I
focusing on the wrong things.
I see this. And I'm glad that you brought up the startup thing, because one thing people who are doing startup stuff, or they're, even if you're, just building your own personal brand, like you're trying to move quickly, you're trying to move fast. And so you default to like, oh, if we just like have a little clever like thing in there, that'll be attention grabbing. But it's not enough. And so instead of trying to sound clever or sound smart or sound professional,
Lots of words.
Lots of words. It's just like, and you want to know what? It is much easier to say that I'm a synergistic change maker who like does, who, advises and represents, sellers, owners, and just like trying to do too much, trying to sound more and trying to do too much, right? And I understand why people do that, because it's actually very difficult to be simple. It's actually very difficult to distill it down into its most essential thing. And also, like, I feel like there's a little bit of people don't feel like they have permission to say who they are and what they do. And I feel like there's a little bit of that part of it, the own like mind think of like, I need to dress myself up. I can't just say, hey, I sell buildings in New York. Because it's different. Like, I do think that there is this perception sometimes that, Bob Knackle is allowed to just say that because he has sold a lot of buildings in New York, when functionally, that value, and it's also become an icon and just all this stuff, right? So, but any other person who sells buildings in New York, could say, I sell buildings in New York.
Well, and I think when you bring that up and you talk about Massey Knackle and you talk about the fact that their value prop was, we only work on exclusives, we only sell buildings in New York City, we only represent sellers, and I forget the last one. I'm sorry, Bob. I'm failing you.
I only work in New York.
I said that one.
Or did you say that one?
Yep. There's 4 of them. I'm forgetting the last one. So, whoops. But yeah. But I mean, people understood that, right? So we only work on exclusives. We only work in New York City. We only sell buildings. Oh, or we only represent sellers. Maybe that is the 4. Anyway, so the point being is that you understand that it's so simple that even a 5th grader could understand it. And it's repeatable, right? It's absolutely repeatable when, the ADHD remembers everything that's supposed to be repeatable. So how do you make it click? How do you create brand messaging that clicks? You need to identify who you help. You need to state the problem that they have.
Mm-hmm.
You need to explain the outcome that they want. You need to show how your business helps bridge the gap between the problem and the solution. And then you have to make the next step so stupidly simple that even a caveman could do it. Really, I mean, think about the whole Geico thing. Like, I'm sort of going off on a tangent, but so easy, even a caveman could do it, right? Like,
Geico? Do they have caveman and the lizard?
Yeah.
That's
so
annoying that they have both.
two different.
We need to break up this.
Two different. I mean, think about it. I think one was the late 80s, early 90s, and the other one was the aughts, right? I think is when the lizard came out. But the thing is that it's so simple. Like, we're repeating that, right? And I wish X, for a very short amount of time, would go back to making everybody use 140 characters, because this is where I really learned how to create a message with impact. You had brevity, like you had to be so witty and so clever in your responses because you only had 140 characters. And because knowing that the timeline was going so fast, it was consistent. This was a great tool. Like, using X back then to create headlines was freaking amazing, because you had to pare down your message so much that people would click. And I worked in, obviously in radio, but then also a direct to consumer. And if we're not connecting and creating that urgency or that need to click on the link to see what the story is, you've lost people. And this applies to your business. So how can you create a message that makes, 1, you make it click, and 2, you make them click, right? So identify who you help, state the problem that they have, explain the outcome that they want, show how your solution bridges the gap, and then make the next step so stupidly simple that it would be ridiculous for them not to work with you.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Stupid.
Oh, sorry, I clicked
No,
it
it's fine.
I didn't see this one. I hate cute unless we're talking about puppies.
Yeah,
Yes.
and puppies smash on social, right? But you can't
They do.
build your entire, right? You can't build your entire, like,
Unless you're Petco.
well, no, I was going to say, you know, like when we talk, you know, I talk a lot about top of funnel content, and then also like a tier of that that's really universal appeal, right? Talking about things that everybody can relate to and everybody can recognize and everybody likes, and that's puppies, right? But you can't, you know, this would actually be iconic. Every time I say, you can't do this, it's a horrible idea, I'm like, oh, that's a really good idea. Like if you just had your entire marketing campaign and it was like holding a puppy in front of a building, like I wish here's a free one. Nobody's gonna do this. Go do this. Is like a Wes Anderson style, like aesthetic marketing campaign, and it's like just the broker in front of the building, you know, hold like with, you know, the signature accessories. Man, no one's gonna do it.
It's actually so, you know who would do it? Dalee.
Dalee would do it. Yeah, and Dalee did do. I remember when 2 years ago at CRAI, she did that Wes Anderson style video with Faraz. That was on the stairs. Man, it was so great. Faraz is very like, he has like a Wes Anderson. Like,
what I loved about that whole thing is Faraz was 100% down to do whatever she said. Like,
yeah, he just executed.
Yeah, he just was like, tell me what to do and I'll do it. And then we had him lay down on the stairs. Oh my gosh, it was so brilliant. If you haven't seen it, it's on her Instagram. You can go find it.
Well, also, sorry, bringing this back to the point of speed and just doing it and articulation and going, he did that in the middle of like still making calls. Like it was in the lobby with the grand staircase, and then but really he was over at the table, right? And he had his triplicate like monitor opened up and he was ripping calls. He skip traced me that day. Like it was, you know, but again, it's like, one thing that I really respect about what you just said is, you know, he didn't question. He's just like, let's execute, let's go.
Yep, let's do it.
That, you know, and so the meandering around of like, I don't know what I do. I don't know what to do. All of this, all of that. I mean, I get that. You know, I've spent multiple hours on a LinkedIn post just to post it and then delete it and just put it in the vault, right? Like there is a lot of value in just barreling forward, and sometimes barreling forward is how you get clear. So
absolutely. I think there's too much thinking that goes on, so people don't execute. There's too much thinking that goes on, so the messaging it becomes so wordy that that nobody understands it. The other thing that when I talk with prospects and I ask them, what do you do? And then they give me this long list of blah, 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 blah. I just sit there and I listen to them go on their diatribe and I'm like, okay, yeah. Okay, that's great. I love everything you just said. Now, if I were to go and ask your brokers in your office what it is that you do, would they repeat what you just said? And it's the kind of the deer in the headlights look like, no, they'd probably say something different. Okay, then that's an issue because then nobody knows what page that they're on. Everybody should be. I know Fly, if somebody were to ask her, she can say our value prop. I mean, saw a video of her last week say it.
No, but I get stage fright.
No, but the thing, like,
for busy commercial real estate professionals, and I have like 15 takes seriously of like me trying to say that on video.
Right, but the thing is that like, you know, the other thing that we have on our website is we do social, so you don't have to. Boom, quick, right? It makes sense. We do the social, so you don't have to. What's the issue? The issue is you don't have time to do the social. We know what we're doing, right? So it's always, so Marcy, I hope that was an example in simple words. When we're talking about the value proposition and making it so easy that even a caveman can understand it. If you look at the Mova Media Marketing value prop, it is we do social for busy commercial real estate professionals. What is it? Social media. Who is our audience? Commercial real estate professionals. What are they? They're busy. They don't have the time to do it. That's where we step in, right? That's where we take our expertise and help them get back to brokering deals because that's what they do best. And we do social media best. If you go on my website, there's a version of that on there.
Yeah. I do think sometimes I'm coming up against this a lot in, you know, I do think that this is much easier for the specialist, right? Like, you know, somebody like Aviva who is industrial in Denver, right? Yep. You know, or like Bob Knackel, buildings in New York, or, you know, any, you know, Triple Net Tyler, right? Like he, you know, all these guys, all these people, have very specific things that they specialize in. And I do find that it's not only the novice or the inarticulate, or that sounded rude, but it's not only the people who haven't, there's a difference between not having articulated it for yourself, because that is in and of itself one thing to get in the practice of saying and knowing what you do, right? Even if you specialize. But then there's also people who are not specialized in their work. Like I'm getting to know a lot of people who are generalists, and so they're not really getting into the specialist versus generalist market or argument. But for the generalist, they may not. It may just take some effort to figure out how to shape that. And, maybe you don't have a specialized asset. Maybe you work in a very specific location, right? Like you need to somehow find and figure out what your differentiator is.
I help investors find income producing properties, right? That could be something like this, super, super simple. It could be, basically you need to identify who is your target market. That's your prospect, right? What is their problem? How do you help them solve the problem? Why is it so, like, why wouldn't they work with you? It has to be so stupidly simple that, they need to be able to work with you. I think explaining brokerage is way easier, because when people think real estate, that's it. Yep. Yeah. Honestly, with the whole real estate thing, everybody immediately thinks they think houses, right? They think single family homes. They don't think about commercial, and commercial is everywhere, which is it's kind of wild if you don't really think about it in those in that perspective.
And I think because there are so many different interpretations, again, of like, if you are not specific, if you are not clear, if you are not, differentiating yourself or targeting, the people that you are trying to reach, it will be harder for people to reach you, because they have access to everyone. They have access to everything. And so when we talk about, not only being able to articulate this for yourself, and making it clearer to people and reducing the friction to come find you. But I mean, think about what we've been talking about with, search engine and answer engine optimization. How many commercial sales and leasing agents are there, like, in your particular, market, right? Like a lot, right? And, it's a small link in the chain, right? But if you can start being more and more articulate about that in your social media, in your profiles, in the conversations you have with people, everything, like, it will compound. And the aggregate of that is that you will show up more in the right places to the right people online.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly that's it. That's it right there. And it does go to the whole marketing ecosystem, because it's not just what you're saying on social media. Your value prop should be in all of your headlines. As simple as that. Across all of the platforms that you're on. It needs to be in your email, and it needs to be on your website. We talk about when people go to a website, if it's not above the fold, and so this is going back a little bit, right? So think about a newspaper. The headline was above the fold, right? So everything else below the fold, that's secondary. Above the fold is the thing that's going to grab the attention. How are you going to grab attention and make sure that your prospect, your client, understands exactly what it is that you do within, I think we call it 7 seconds. It's like they have to have that information, because our brains are overworking so much with all the information that we're receiving. If it's not easy for us to understand, we are just going to set it aside. We're not going to look at it. So here's what not to do. Buzzwords. Change maker.
Change maker.
And we should actually do a Suno song about that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Buzzwords, change maker, synergistic. Quit freaking using that word in your headlines. What does that mean? Quit saying it. Listing services instead of solving problems. Talking about yourself first, right? This is not a me. This is a you. This is how I solve this for you. I sound like Dory. Trying to sound smart instead of being clear. Remember, clever and cute kill. Clarity is what gives you the win. And of course, then there's no call to action. So here's fill in the blank prompts for you guys. Who you help. I help blank. Write this down. I help blank. What is their problem? Who struggle with blank. Why it matters. Because blank. Actually, you know what? I'll talk this out loud, but ask me or fly and we'll DM it to you. What you do, I help them blank. The outcome, so they can blank. And then the call to action. Want help? Let's blank. So here's an example that we have already. This is, I help retail landlords who struggle to fill their vacancies because foot traffic has shifted. I bring data-driven tenant outreach and local marketing so they lease faster and stay profitable. Want help filling a space? DM me lease and I'll send options. So what does this person do? They help retail landlords who are struggling with filling vacancies. Foot traffic has shifted. Their solution is bringing data-driven outreach, local marketing. The outcome is leasing faster, staying profitable. Boom, right there. And then last but not least, this is a practical exercise for all of you guys to do, right? This is the practical that I want you to do. Could someone, if you were to meet them at a coffee shop, if you were to meet them at a networking event, we have SIOR Global Fall event happening right now in Louisville, Kentucky. You're going to be networking. You're going to be meeting people. Could that person that you're meeting repeat your message at a coffee shop? One, without messing it up. And then two, passing your information on correctly to another person. Could they do that? If your message is not clear, they won't be able to do that. So if you need any help with this, of clarifying your messaging, just connect with Fly or myself. We'll send you those fill in the blank prompts to help you figure that out. Fly will not be here on Thursday. She is leaving me.
I will be watching. I will be heckling. I can't tell you what's going to happen on the plane, but ideally,
Heckle and Jekyll. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, we get a heckler. So this Thursday, actually, Miss Allison Weiss is going to be on the show with us, and we are going to be talking about touch points. Keep your fingers to yourself. Touch points, though, is what we'll be talking about on the show on Thursday. Don't forget, we have Social Mastery VIP. It is our school group where we talk about the whole marketing ecosystem. Would love to have you there. And, oh, hold on, right before we go. My thing is I provide land and air right data to CRE professionals. My follow-up is usually because you can't just pull it. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a way that you can clarify that messaging so everybody understands what it is that you do. Mr. DB, Mr. Dwayne Burris. All right, everybody. We'll see you back here on Thursday. Except for Fly. Fly is going to be in Connecticut. And we'll see you guys then. Bye.